We were $127,000 in debt with 2 kids. Everyone said we were crazy. 3 years later, we proved them all wrong. This is how we did it. Robert Torres sat at his kitchen table at 2 a.m., surrounded by credit card statements, medical bills, and loan documents. The numbers blurred together. $127,000 in total debt. His hands trembled as he did the math. At their current pace, making minimum payments, they'd be debt-free in 23 years. He'd be 62 years old. His kids would be grown. His life would be over. In the bedroom, his wife Michelle slept restlessly. Just hours earlier, they'd had another fight about money. Their daughter Emma needed new shoes. Their son Lucas wanted to join the soccer team. They'd said no to both. Not because they didn't want to say yes, but because there was simply nothing left. Robert worked construction, pulling 50-hour weeks. Michelle was a teacher's aide, working with special needs children for barely above minimum wage. They were good people, hard-working people, but they were drowning. The debt had started innocently enough. A car repair on a credit card, medical bills from when Lucas broke his arm, student loans that never seemed to shrink, a furniture set they needed but probably didn't. Small choices compounded over years had become a mountain they couldn't climb. That night, staring at those numbers, something inside Robert broke. Or maybe something finally awakened. He grabbed a notebook and wrote 3 words. Absolutely not anymore. The next morning, Robert didn't go to work. He called in sick for the first time in 3 years. He spent the entire day creating what he would later call Operation Freedom. He researched everything: debt snowball methods, budgeting systems, side hustle ideas, stories of families who'd crawled out of similar holes. He watched videos, read articles, filled notebooks with calculations. By the time Michelle came home with the kids, Robert had created a complete battle plan. Family meeting, he announced. Right now, kitchen table. Emma, 8 years old, and Lucas, 6, exchanged nervous glances. Family meetings usually meant someone was in trouble. Michelle set down her bag, exhaustion written across her face. Robert, I'm tired. Can this wait? No, he said firmly. This is the most important conversation we'll ever have as a family. He spread out the papers on the table. He showed them everything: the total debt, the interest rates, the timeline if nothing changed. We're going to do something crazy, he said. We're going to eliminate every penny of this debt, and we're going to do it in 3 years or less. Michelle's eyes widened. Robert, that's impossible. That's over $40,000 a year. We can, Robert interrupted, but only if we're willing to do what most people won't. Only if we're willing to sacrifice like we've never sacrificed before. He pulled out his plan. It was radical. It was extreme. It was brutal. Cancel cable TV. Save $120 a month. Sell Michelle's car. Share one vehicle. Eliminate $380 a month payment. No eating out, not even fast food. Save $400 a month minimum. Cancel all subscriptions and memberships. Save $85 a month. Robert would take on weekend construction jobs, add $800 to $1,200 a month. Michelle would tutor after school, add $300 to $500 a month. Grocery budget slashed to $400 maximum. No gifts except birthdays and Christmas. Strict budget limits. Every single extra dollar goes to debt. This is insane, Michelle whispered. The kids, we can't do this to them. Robert looked at Emma and Lucas. Kids, do you know why mommy and daddy fight? They nodded silently. It's because of money, because we owe so much money that it's stealing our happiness. But if we do this together as a family, we can be free, really free. Would you be willing to help? Emma spoke first. Would you and mom stop fighting? Yes, Robert said, his voice cracking. Then I'll help, she said simply. Lucas nodded. Me too. Michelle's eyes filled with tears. Okay, 3 months. We try this for 3 months. Robert smiled. 3 months, then we decide. The first week was a shock to the system. No cable meant the kids complained every single evening. Sharing one car meant Michelle had to wake up at 5:30 a.m. to drop Robert at work, then rush back for the kids' school run. Cooking every meal from scratch when you're exhausted felt impossible. But Robert stayed firm. He created a massive debt thermometer on their living room wall, a huge poster board with $127,000 marked at the top. Every time they paid off any amount, they'd color it in red. He instituted family sacrifice Sundays. Every Sunday, they'd do something fun that cost $0. Parks, hiking trails, the public library, free community events, museums on free admission days. Robert started working Saturdays and Sundays on construction side jobs. He'd leave at 6 a.m. and return at 8 p.m., exhausted but determined. Michelle started tutoring 3 nights a week after school. The budget was brutal. Robert created envelopes for every expense category. When the grocery envelope was empty, they ate what was in the pantry. When the gas envelope was low, they combined trips obsessively. Emma and Lucas learned to pack lunches instead of buying school lunch. They learned to say, "We're saving for something important," when friends invited them to movies or events. The hardest moment came 3 weeks in. Lucas's birthday was approaching. In previous years, they'd spent $200 to $300 on parties, gifts, and celebrations. "What are we doing for Lucas's birthday?" Michelle asked quietly. Robert's jaw clenched. Homemade cake, free park party, a one small gift, $20 maximum. Michelle started crying. "He's 6 years old, Robert. He deserves parents who aren't slaves to debt." Robert's voice rose, then softened. "Michelle, I hate this too, but we decided. 3 months, remember?" The party was simple. A chocolate cake Michelle baked, hot dogs at the local park, a $15 soccer ball as Luke